Alright, so this is Decent We the People News. Alright, this can be part 2, y'all. Like I said before, I'm not an attorney, nor declared to be an attorney, okay? This is just a learning process for me that I'm sharing with y'all, okay? Because I never look out just straightforward. I always look around me to be able to protect myself by any means necessary. Something is not right with our system. And what is it? Right? And right from the very beginning of our due process, it's been totally lost, and we've been totally lied to about how the system is actually supposed to work. Whether you believe in the straw man, the contract law, legalese, lawfulese, constitution, state constitution, the main corporate is the due process. Okay? It's been literally dropped from the beginning, in my opinion. However, I'm not an attorney, so I'm not giving legal advice. Alright, let's go.
So I am here to edify my God because He watches not only over me, but you too. He sees your pain, He sees your suffering. I guess that you wouldn't be here had you not had some storms yourself. But I want to give you hope, because there is an answer. And you can find, even in their codes, there's a remedy. Because they have to do it as a matter of law. One of the most valuable things that I have found is the power of the affidavit of truth, because you can hold court outside of court and win before you even go in. And it's power packed. When you put that affidavit of truth together, there is power in saying, I am a living woman. In case if you're a male gender, I'm a living man, created in the image of God. You just trumped their straw man, because that's what they always would have played, that this is your straw man, your chess piece. No, that's not me. That's that piece of paper you created. I'm a living man entitled to restitution, entitled to every liberty that God gave me that's codified in that Constitution. I'm not a party to the Constitution. I'm a beneficiary of it. It's a contract between me or my civil servants on how they will always protect me. So I'm here under the First Amendment rights to redress my grievances. And in the Texas Bill of Rights, Article 1, Section 27, which practically says the same thing. Your Texas Bill of Rights. Now remember, when we joined the Union in 1845, we were a real de jure country, our own nation. When we seceded from Mexico in 1836, this is treaty law. Treaty is what? It's found under Article 6. It's under the Supremacy Clause of Article 6 of the U.S. Constitution. Have you read the articles? We know our Bill of Rights, right? First Amendment, Second Amendment, Third Amendment. Everybody know what your constitutional rights are, right? Right. I can highlight that for you real quick if you want me to just run down the list. I highly recommend that you have this stuff memorized, because it will become a useful tool. We have to know this stuff before we engage with law enforcement or the courts. Because when you stand up in front of that judge and you say, Your Honor, first thing out of your mouth when you walk in a courtroom, I'm here by special appearance, not general appearance. I'm here for exclusive and express reservation of all my rights. And if you agree that you will uphold your oath of office, we can proceed. Guess what? You just created what? A trust. Trust on the fly, right? You can do that. If you agree, if you consent, we can move forward. We can have this meeting today. By the way, I want you to know, I'm not the trustee. I'm the beneficiary of the trust. Bonnie Allen Thomas trust account. I'm the beneficiary. You can announce that too. I am here to exalt my God. I'm God created, not man created. Guess what? There's a maximum law that says that which one creates, one controls. I'm not that piece of paper. Here's my federally authenticated birth certificate. That's what you created, but that's not me. You know how I can show you? I can prove it? That didn't hurt me, right? I can pinch it. I can stick it with a pin. That didn't hurt me. That's a piece of paper. You want to confine something, you can confine that piece of paper. You can put it in jail cell, you can put it in a file cabinet, I don't care, that's not me. I'm a living soul. The essence and breath of life is given to me by God. That which one creates, one controls. God created me, God controls me. Just so you know, the words out of my mouth today, Judge, I'll bring honor in this court. And we don't have to be proud and sassy. I mean, that's my biggest hardship, because God has blessed me in their laws, and I can recite it better than their attorneys can, is to be humble about it, right? Because we could really be offensive, because those are some power tools that we have, and we can use them, but we are more effective if we use them in a loving way. And it's hard to do, especially when you know that you're up against a racketeering fraud operation. So when you say things like, Your Honor, you're not allowed to deprive me of doing a cross-examine witness, so you want to put on a witness on the witness stand. You're not allowed to block me. I want to know what this person's going to testify to. I said, well, we'll find out. But I believe that this meritorious controversy that we're here to talk about today, they're going to bring light to this trial by jury. The fact finder is the jury and not you. So I need to put on witnesses in my favor that will move this forward so they can see the light and truth. I need to cross-examine these witnesses. That's part of the due process clause. You do understand that, right, Judge? Fifth Amendment due process. What is due process? Notice, opportunity to be heard, opportunity to cross-examine witnesses, put on evidence, opportunity to appeal. All that's under, and fundamental fairness. Right? Fundamental fairness, there's a U.S. Supreme Court decision called Johnson, it was a recent one, that said that fundamental fairness is protected by the due process clause of the Fifth Amendment. Well, guess what? Due process is also codified in your Texas Bill of Rights under Article 1, Section 19. And if you don't have the Texas Bill of Rights, read it. Because really, a lot of the judges that you're going to deal with in the state courts do not even have an Article 6 oath, which is the federal one. But they all have to, if they're serving in office, they have to have an Article 16, Section 1, Texas Constitution oath of office. Yes, sir.
If they do not have one on file, how do you approach that with the judge?
It wouldn't hurt for you to have one created for them. Like, sign this, please. I mean, they're supposed to all be sworn in. And you can ask the question. You know, and if they get mad at you for asking a question, I say, let's move on. Well, we're gonna move on when you provide me your oath of office. Surely you have one. We'll wait while you go get it. If not, I need to swear you in right now. Because you work for me. You're my civil servant. I appreciate all the hard work you do. Again, we don't have to be mean-spirited. We don't have to be haughty. We don't have to be proud and sassy. Boy, that's my challenge, because I want to be so often here. And then I find myself going, okay, Bonnie, you get more flies with honey than with vinegar. And it helps to be loving. And I have seen the power of love shift forth my favor. And I'm standing up there, and the words out of my mouth are sweet as honey and loving, because that's how God made my heart, right? He's beat me down enough and allowed me to have trials enough to refine me and make me more like Him, which is maybe, we're all a work in progress. But I have seen how the judge gets an example of what righteousness looks like. It's just the words that come out of your mouth in the way that you speak them. You don't have to be mean. You say, Your Honor, if I allow this kind of behavior from you to continue, then it's my bad, it's my fault, and it's on me. And I don't want to be guilty of failing to train my civil servants properly. So I must correct the errors of this particular procedure. You must correct your behavior right now. Due process requires fundamental fairness. There have been 3 times that I have chastised this bar card holder over here for making false statement of fact that do not exist on the record. And you're allowing yourself to make you an accessory after the fact. And Your Honor, I don't want you to be dishonored, operating in dishonor in my courtroom. Call it yours, because guess who's boss today? You are. You're the boss. Bill of Rights, right? And again, the Texas Bill of Rights is even stronger than the U.S. Bill of Rights. The U.S. Bill of Rights is the floor, but it's not the ceiling. In other words, the contract that's between the states and the union, they cannot drop below the floor, but the states are supposed to offer even richer benefits than the U.S. Constitution. So here's what Article 1, Section 2 is. All political power, all, not some, all political power is inherent in the people. Who? The government? The corporations? No, it's in we the people. And all free governments are founded on their authority. Whose authority? Police authority. The people's authority. Right? And instituted for their benefit. Whose benefit? Our benefit. The faith of the people of Texas stands pledged to the preservation of a Republican form of government. Does everybody know the difference between a democracy and a Republican form of government? Yeah? Is anybody unsure what that means? Does that have you? Does that have you? It's very simple, right down for you. A democracy means that the mob rules. And so you have, let's say it's a 51-49 split. And I'm just using this as an example. What if it's a religious difference? What if the 51 is Muslim and the 49 is Christian? Well, that means the Muslims rule. Their way wins. Okay? I love my Muslim friends. I have no problem. Every Muslim I've ever met is the sweetest person on the planet. I love them. They may have differences from me. Their belief system may be different, but the ones that I've met, I see as genuine in right doing. Maybe I don't see their bad side. Maybe they don't show it to me, but I've seen good Muslims. But the point is that their ideology is different from mine, because I'm a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ, and the Word of God is my standard of truth and life. Well, let's say that it's a different culture, right? Let's say that it's, and I don't even want to bring up black and white, because there's always so much slanderous stuff happening there. But let's say it's a bunch of Eskimos, Indians, East Indians, that are just different in culture than we are. And all of a sudden, they're 51 and we're 49. And our culture's different. You get my point. But that's a democracy. Law rules. But in a Republican form of government, it doesn't matter if you're black, white, Latino, Chinese, Asian, old, young, sick or healthy, right? You have the same rights as everybody else. Every single right is yours. And it's like you are an independent state, because that's what we are. We are sovereign people, even when we're in our individual capacity. We're still one of the sovereign people.
Oh, let me just ask a point for clarification. Under the democracy.
Now let's go to the 7, 29, 21. The TV came on to make the sound.
In a democracy, doesn't everyone have the same rights?
No. Mob rules. 51% gets to make all the laws. And it leaves the 49, and again, it doesn't have to be that big, that close of a contrast. It could be 70-30. The 30% are left out where the 70% are making all the rules and all the laws. But that's not the government that we have been promised. That's why what we have now is not no government. Because we are entitled to a Republican form of government, that even if you are the minority, even if you're disabled, even if you're elderly, even if you're, something other than white, your color of skin, right, or not a popular religion, you're still entitled to all the protections. Why? Because you're created in the image of God. Okay, so the faith of the people of Texas is the preservation of a Republican form of government is subject to this limitation only. They have at all times the inalienable right to alter, reform, or abolish their government in any manner they think expedient. Let's magnify that a little bit. Alter, reform, abolish in any manner. It doesn't say you have to go to your legislative branch and have to create new laws. It says alter. You don't have to abolish. You can alter. You can reform. You can correct. In any manner. have the ability to alter, reform, and abolish in any manner that you create. Because it doesn't say you have to go to the legislative branch and they have to pass a new law, and it's got to go to Governor Abbott, and he's got to sanction it, and 9 days later he's rolled into law, and it's going to show up in the law books next year, blah, blah, blah. No. You can alter, reform, and abolish any manner you think expedient. Before I run out of time, let's cover the affidavit of truth. Affidavit of truth, I'm a living man created in the image of God. First thing I always put is the